If you've got a bonus room, a finished attic, or a bedroom over the garage, and that room is always hotter than the rest of the house in summer and colder in winter, you've probably wondered if you need a bigger air conditioner. But here's the thing, your HVAC system may not be the problem. There's a short wall in the attic called the knee wall, and what's happening behind it and underneath it is almost certainly why that room won't stay comfortable. I'm going to show you exactly what to look for and what most contractors miss when they're up there. Here's the short version before we go deep. Most contractors go into a finished attic, insulate the knee wall, and call it done. I see that all the time, and the room is still uncomfortable, and the homeowner still can't figure out why. The problem is that insulating the wall is only part of the job. Behind that knee wall is a small attic space, and the floor of that space, the floor joists running under your finished room, those joist cavities are usually wide open to unconditioned attic air. Hot in summer, cold in winter, and that air is moving directly under your floor into your living space. To actually fix this, you need three things. You need insulation in the knee wall, an air barrier over the studs, and those open floor cavities sealed shut. Most contractors do one, maybe two. That's why the room is still uncomfortable. Let me walk you through the whole thing. Before I move on, I'd encourage you to check the description for a link to our free attic air seal and insulate guide that we've developed. It's totally free. Link is in the description. Let's start with the basics. A knee wall is a short wall, usually 2 to 4 feet tall, built inside a finished attic. You'll find them in Cape Cod homes, bonus rooms over garages, and any room where the ceiling follows the roof line. The builder puts that wall there so you don't end up with a sharp, unusable corner where the roof meets the floor. Behind the wall is a small attic space. Most people use it for storage, and some homeowners never go in there. That space is where the problems start. Most homeowners assume the wall itself is the issue. If I just insulate the wall, it'll fix the room. And that's not wrong, but it's not the whole picture. That hidden attic space behind the wall and in the floor is where the real energy loss is happening. I go into homes all the time where a contractor has already been up there, fiberglass bats stuffed in the knee wall studs, looks like the job got done. Here's the problem. Fiberglass slows heat transfer. That's what it's designed to do. But it does not stop air movement. Air flows right through the fiberglass. The backside of that insulation is sitting exposed to the attic air that can hit 130 to 150 degrees in the summer. Building scientists call this wind washing. What matters to you is that the attic air is moving through the insulation and making it much less effective. Insulation slows heat. Air sealing stops air movement. You need both. Most knee walls only get one. Let me share with you what I'm looking for when I go into one of these spaces. You've got your finished room on one side and the attic space on the other. The attic space connects to the main attic. In summer, it's cooking in there. Now look down at the floor. See those gaps between the floor joists? Yours may be hidden by plywood or some type of wood sheeting for storage. But those gaps between the floor joists, whether you can see them or not, run directly under your finished room, and in most homes, they're completely opened or just sealed with blown-in insulation. That's your problem right there. I see it all the time. Hot attic air is flowing directly under your floor. Your HVAC system is fighting that air movement every hour of every day. You can insulate the knee wall perfectly and still have an uncomfortable room if those floor cavities are open to the hot attic air. That's the part most contractors miss. By the way, this is the type of thing I cover every week. So if you'd like to learn more about your attic, your crawl space, and your basement, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I was inspecting a bonus room a while back where the homeowner was convinced they needed a new HVAC system. The room was miserable every summer. We opened the knee wall access door and looked behind the wall, and every floor cavity was completely open to the attic. We sealed those cavities, air sealed the knee wall, and the room became dramatically more comfortable without replacing a single piece of HVAC equipment. That's what I see constantly, and that's what I recommend you do. The contractor did a solid job on the knee wall, bats installed correctly, everything looked right, and the homeowner was still miserable because nobody sealed the floor. I also want to mention something else I find in these spaces. spaces regularly. Ductwork. A lot of knee wall attic spaces have supply and return ducts running through them. And when I'm up there, I'm looking for leaky duct connections, disconnected flex duct, crushed flex duct, and ducts with little or no insulation on. If you've got a duct leak in a 140-degree attic space, you're dumping conditioned air directly into the attic. So while you're up there fixing the knee wall, make sure to check out the ductwork too. Here's the correct way to do this. Step 1, you want to insulate and air seal the floor cavities. If you can, install blown-in insulation under the living space, then cut pieces of rigid foam board to fit the open joist spaces at the base of the knee wall. Seal all 4 edges with spray foam. This is the most important step in the whole job, so make sure you don't skip it. Step 2, install faced fiberglass bats in the knee wall stud bays. The paper facing toward the living space, that's the conditioned side of the wall. Check your local building code for the proper R value for your climate zone. Step 3, install rigid foam board continuously over the entire knee wall. This is your air barrier. Without this layer, you've got insulation with no air seal. Step 4, seal all edges of the foam board. Every seam, every gap, every penetration where a wire or a pipe comes through, the air barrier only works if it's continuous. Step 5, insulate the attic floor behind and below the knee wall. Don't forget this area. The floor of that small attic space needs insulation too. Step 6, insulate and weather strip the access door. Treat it like an exterior door because that's essentially what it is. Do all 6 of these steps and you'll fix the problem. Do 3 of them and you'll still be losing energy and wondering why the room won't stay comfortable. One more thing before I close out. I talk to homeowners all the time who have already replaced their HVAC equipment. A bigger unit, a new mini split, the works. And the room is still uncomfortable because they never fixed the building envelope. Before you spend money on new HVAC equipment, check the knee walls, check the attic insulation, check the duct sealing, and check the air sealing. Fix those. Most of the time, the equipment you already have is fine. The main thing I want you to take away from this video is this. Most contractors insulate the knee wall and completely miss the open floor cavities behind it. Fix those cavities and you can make that room more comfortable, reduce energy loss, and get better performance from your HVAC system you already own. If you want to go deeper on attic air sealing and insulation, the complete system in the right order, I've got a link in the description to my book, Seal First, Insulate Second. It covers everything we talked about today and a lot more. Also, if you'd like to learn more on this topic, there's a video on the screen right now that I recommend you take a look at. And I'm Michael Church with Crawl Space Ninja. I hope you make it a happy and blessed day, and we'll see you later.